And lastly, Mr. Ortega, in your conversations with Michael, did you and Michael discuss plans, professional plans, touring plans, beyond this tour that the two of you hope to engage in?
Yes.
Can you describe what you discussed as far as future plans, even beyond or as part of the This Is It tour?
Michael had hoped that after the London dates that he'd be able to take This Is It out into the world, perhaps even bringing it into the United States, and that after that he wanted to make movies.
Okay, and did you specifically discuss that with him?
Yes, I did.
And what movies did he want to make?
He invited me to join him as a co-director to full-length feature a film of Thriller, and also the Legs Diamond story, which was based on his Smooth Criminal short film.
And these discussions you had actually contemplated pursuing those endeavors following the tour?
We didn't get into the details that early, but it was just an invitation and a hope.
By both of you?
And a future, yeah, surely.
Thank you, sir. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Well, thank you. Cross-examination, please. Mr. Chernoff?
Mr. Ortega, how are you today?
Mr. Chernoff, thank you.
It's good seeing you again.
Thank you, sir.
I want to go straight to June 20th, the meeting at the house, at Michael Jackson's house. This was at the Carrollwood residence where he resided, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we have seen this email that was put up on the screen, and you read for us. That email was sent prior, obviously, to the meeting being scheduled?
Yes.
Yes. Did prior to sending the email to Randy Phillips, did you speak to him on the phone about what had happened on June 19th?
No.
No. So this was just an email that you sent cold, essentially, just this is how I feel about certain things that are happening at this particular point in time with regard to the show?
Yes.
And you had said that the meeting that was scheduled at the Carrollwood residence, you found out from your assistant. Did you happen to know whether or not it was Paul Gongaware who scheduled this meeting?
No, I thought it was, but I'm not certain, sir.
To your knowledge, was this meeting scheduled by Dr. Murray?
It could have been.
Could have been?
I wasn't told who the meeting was scheduled by. I was just invited to the meeting.
It could have been scheduled by Randy Phillips as
It
well.
could have been,
Is that
yes.
right?
Yes.
Would you agree that one of the conversations that you were going to have, one of the reasons for having this meeting was to discuss these missed rehearsals?
Pardon me?
One of the reasons that you were having this meeting, one of the reasons that you understood that you were having this meeting was to discuss Michael Jackson's missed rehearsals.
That wasn't brought up to me.
Well, your email talks about playing tough love, right? Pulling the plug. Was it your understanding that what you were referring to was perhaps some resolution to the problem of Michael Jackson's missed rehearsals?
Yeah, what my comments were based on meetings that probably occurred before this night where Michael was informed that we had to get serious about coming to rehearsals.
You said that the meeting on the 20th was designed specifically, or resulted, let me change that. The June 20th meeting was not the only meeting that was held at Michael Jackson's house regarding missed rehearsals, correct?
Probably not.
Probably not. Are you guessing or?
Well, I wasn't at another one.
Right. Are you aware of another meeting that was held at Michael Jackson's house?
Not aware of it, but again, most likely there was one, because I know that Dr. Murray was creating a schedule now for Michael to try to help resolve the problem of Michael missing rehearsals.
Well, you had testified that the schedule that Dr. Murray was creating was as a result of the week before his death. Are you saying that the schedule he was creating was as a result of a meeting before that, before the 20th?
The result of the schedule is to try to help us.
Yeah, well, I understand that. Let me ask you this. Who asked Dr. Murray to prepare a schedule for Michael Jackson?
I have no idea.
The objection sustained. Your partial answers, Judge, disregarding.
Is it...
Assumes facts not in evidence. Go ahead.
Got you, Judge, thank you. Is it possible that this schedule that was created by Dr. Murray was created weeks prior?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Do you know when Dr. Murray was asked to create this schedule?
I don't know if he was asked or if he offered. I just know that it was truly an attempt to try to help arrive us at a schedule that would work for Michael.
Prior to this June 20th email that was sent to Randy Phillips, had you expressed concern about Michael Jackson's missed rehearsals?
Yes.
And would it be fair that you expressed your concerns earlier than the last week before his death?
Yes.
And these missed rehearsals, these were at the Staples Center and also at the Forum?
I don't believe we started the Staples Center yet, sir. I believe they were from the Forum.
What was your impression, Mr. Ortega, of why Michael Jackson was missing these rehearsals?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Well, you have already testified to Michael Jackson's state of mind. Do you think that he was missing these rehearsals just because he was tired or lazy?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Did you ever have a conversation with anybody about why he was missing these rehearsals?
Yes.
Who did you have that conversation
I
with?
had conversations with a few people about, trying to find out why he wasn't showing up to rehearsals.
One of those people was Randy Phillips,
Yes?
Paul Gongaware,
Yes?
Frank DeLeo.
Probably not, Frank.
Mr. Ortega, in your email, when you talk about it would break his heart if we pulled the plug, is this a conversation that you had with Randy Phillips, or that Randy Phillips had with you about pulling the plug?
No, it was based on me, as the director of the production, sir, having real concerns that, real questions as to whether or not we were going to be able to make the goals without Michael.
If the plug had been pulled on Michael Jackson, what impact would it have on him personally?
Well, I think creatively he would have been devastated if he really wanted to do this tour.
What about professionally?
Professionally, I'm sure it would have not been a good thing.
Michael Jackson, when was you said you worked on the Dangerous Tour with Michael
Yes.
Jackson. And what year was that?
1991,
And you also worked on the History Tour.
yes.
And what year was that?
96 approximately.
To your knowledge, did Michael Jackson have any tours after the History Tour?
I know he did perform in a New York engagement. I don't think he had any tours, but I believe that he performed on an occasion, once or twice.
So the last time that Michael Jackson had a series of shows, a tour, so to speak, was in 1996?
Was the History Tour.
The meeting that you had on June 20th at Michael Jackson's house, you described the conversation that you had with Dr. Murray. Would you consider it adversarial, the conversation with Dr. Murray?
Can you rephrase that, sir?
Were you fighting? Was it adversarial?
No.
Were you?
No.
No. And you mentioned 2 or 3 statements that Dr. Murray said to you, and you said to Dr. Murray. Was there anything else that was said besides those statements you've already testified to?
There could have been.
Or could have been. Do you remember any of those statements?
Well, I just remember that Dr. Murray was saying one thing to me, and what Dr. Murray was saying to me was not exactly what had occurred.
Were you?
And
Allow the witness to finish his answer.
And at one point, Dr. Murray looked to Michael, because I think Michael was his source of information, and he was looking to Michael like Michael had said one thing, but in fact I was saying another. And so there was a moment of clarity, which was based around his assumption that I had taken Michael off, not allowed Michael to rehearse, and sent him home, and which I clarified earlier wasn't the case.
And you were not privy to the conversations that Dr. Murray and Michael Jackson had prior to your arrival?
No.
You do not know what Michael Jackson might have told Dr. Murray about the encounter the night before?
No.
How long was this meeting, Mr. Ortega?
Not long.
Could you estimate for us?
Pardon me?
Would you estimate for us how long?
I would guess that I was in the room for about 10 minutes.
Is it your testimony today that the entire meeting lasted 10 minutes?
The portion of the meeting that I was involved in, because I left before everybody else left, felt brief,
Why did you leave before everyone else?
because that's all I was called for, was that conversation.